The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, my people? Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to Streaming Matters. A little throwback intro. I don't know if you guys caught that when I was looking through my list. I'm like, let's do a little throwback of the countdown. So thanks for you guys joining in on the show. What we do is we like to talk about all kinds of streaming topics, things that to make your streaming a little cheaper, a little bit better, to run better, just try to answer your questions. So we'll talk about the topics that very few people are willing to talk about in other channels, as well as those topics are hard to find if you try to search Reddit and stuff. So thanks for everyone joining us. We do not have Alban with us today. Thoughts and prayers go out to my brother who is not feeling quite up to par today. So everybody keep Mr. Alban in your thoughts and prayers. But he should be back with us next week. He's at home, but thoughts out to you, Alban. They're thinking of you. I'm gonna miss you today. Today we do have Mr. C-Man hanging with me. What's up, my man?
Hey, my man. How's it going? How's everyone?
Yeah, we see our regular folks all rolling in here, and usually I take a look at always Beach always got something smart to say. My man's always got something smart. So let's see. Let me see if Beach wants to roll in here. Maybe Beach will come join us in the show. Hold on a second.
Get UD on.
Yeah, maybe I'll throw an invite. I forgot to meant to send oh, you see going. So we'll see if he shows up. All right, so I thought I'd toss the link out to him. So again, we're going to talk about a lot of topics. Hopefully some of this will help you. I know that one of the big topics in the last couple of days was downloader. I know for me, when I'm reading the different forums and the Facebook pages, I know that was a huge concern. I know you probably seen a lot of the same thing, Mr. C-Man.
Yes, I have.
So, but the good thing, it looks like, hold on a second. I got to try to share my screen here, folks. It looks like the issue has been resolved. I didn't catch that they had fixed it. Not now. Hold on. Let me try this
Yeah, I saw
again.
they reinstated it.
Yep, reinstate it. Looks like. Boom. All right, there we go. Allow. All right, there we go. All right, is that showing for you over there? Yeah, that's showing. But yeah, downloader went down, and this was due to another request, or a DMCA request from somebody that said basically, well, hold on a second. I got another guest. Oh, they got the deer.
Yeah.
100% not Alban. Welcome, Beach.
Poor guy couldn't handle that Speedo pick. Didn't know it would put you in the hospital, Alban.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna blame you on that, Beach. I mean, you shouldn't be sending him them kind of photos because his heart can't take it. I mean, it's a lot. So, yeah, thoughts out to my man. He's not feeling well. But again, so what happens with these things is a DMCA request. So if somebody is a copyright holder of content, be it music, be it video, be it TV, a number of things, they can make a request to some place that if they find somebody's infringing on their copyright, they can put and say, "Hey, I own that, and so is using our content." And Warner Brothers India sent a thing to Google and said, this downloader app is infringing on our copyright." And this is the second time this has happened. It happened, what, guys, maybe a year ago, or maybe even less than a year ago.
It's less than a year ago.
It's less
it
than a year
happened.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, because last time it was off Amazon.
Yeah. So
it just comes and goes. That's
Yeah,
why, just a tip, whenever it's working, I always tell people APK Time, because you can find downloader in APK Time. So whenever I'm setting up my own or a Fire Stick for anybody, I always toss APK Time in there on
good.
stick. So that way, if it gets shut down, either the Play Store or Amazon, you can always go to APK Time and download it from there.
That's a great idea.
That was one. I forgot about APK Time. A great application. It's a great way of getting APKs on a device. I completely forgot. I don't know why Cody Apps is going to be busting my balls when he hears that I forgot. But yeah, completely forgot. But that's a good suggestion, because that has a whole library of things that you can get, even if they've been taken off the Google Play Store or Amazon Store. So, but the thing was, so the request came, Google. So how that works is, so if there is a DMCA takedown notice, they're like, remove that. Hosters legally have to, I don't want to say accept it. They have to be fair about trying to take it down if there should be a problem. So they can't just ignore it. They have to at least look into it and say, yeah, that's a valid thing. We're going to remove it because we can't, even though we didn't put it there, we can't facilitate somebody else being able to get it. So what this Warner Brothers India, Mark Swan or whatever it is, said that this was copyright, and it wasn't. So downloader was removed from the Google Play Store, but was not removed from the Amazon store. And so that happens. And there was a lot of people I know. It just seems like people get so reliant on one thing. And Downloader has a lot of features. I use Downloader on most of my Android things, and I do like it. But you can't rely on one thing and be so dependent on that, and that is your only option. So long story short, it got taken down. It was only down 2 or 3 days, and now it's back. So it's back. You can get it. So I thought maybe we could discuss a few options for people to be able to get the APKs that you're looking for without having to rely on the Google Play Store or the Amazon store. So you said, so I'm going to go to Cody Apps here. And as Beach said, APK Time is a really good application to put on an Android device, and it gives you a library of APKs that you can download and use. It does make it very easy. So here it is, the apktime.com. You can download this APK and install it on any Android device, and it will give you the option of being able to install all these others. So that is a good suggestion. I had one other one that I use a lot, which is I use X-plore File Manager a lot. And what you're able to do with X-plore is you're actually able to use your cloud-based storage sites like your Dropbox, Google Drive. What's some of those others that's the big file hosters?
You got Sync and
I'm trying to think. Dropbox, Google Drive, And there's a couple other ones that's the big ones that that are free. You can get like a certain amount of storage, and you're actually able to access that drive through X-plore. Let me try to pull up. I'm going to pull up my let me see if I pull up my on box. I think I have X-plore on that. Let me show there. And let's see, I'm going to stop sharing this. Okay, let me try to share this again. C-Man, what is one of your things that you like to use as a do you use any of these type of applications to get APKs on a device? I don't know if you get asked to set up those up for very many family members.
I do, and usually I use just Downloader, but I save a copy to Dropbox too.
Yes. Yeah.
So I can access it from there if I need to.
Yeah, you're right. When you can use it, I did, and I actually, if you guys are curious, I do have a link to the downloader, the newest downloader version. There's a link down below that if you want to download the latest version of Downloader, you can actually download it and have a copy of the official version, and it's not going to have any other kind of malware in it, so you don't have to worry about it. I would warn people when you download some of these from all these what's it that's those APK sites, those
APK Pure, and
yeah. Some of
yeah,
those make me nervous because you don't always know what's in the APK.
yeah, exactly.
Even though it'll say downloader, you don't know what's actually added to it. So it's best to get these places from the legit site, not from that Pure. And there's like 3 or 4 or 5, probably a dozen of those APK hosting sites that you can find. So on here, I'm going to show you guys just so that if you're not familiar with it, and I didn't know this until probably about a year ago. So you go to the FTP part here, and you can go to add a server, or no, excuse me, my mistake. The web storage, and you can add a server. And here are the servers that they have. You got your Dropbox, OneDrive, excuse me, Google Drive, Mega Box. So you got a number of web hosting sites that if you have an account, you can add your information into this application, into this APK, and you can access your APKs. Whatever you put on that drive or on that cloud drive, you can access it and pull it right onto your device. So this is a great way of if you have a build, like some people are like, how do I get this build on here? I don't have a server. You can create a zip, upload it to one of these kind of file drives or one of these hosters, download the zip file to your device, and then you could reinstall or install it if you're trying to do a build. But this is a great way of putting those APKs that you use on a regular basis on that drive. Now, some people, if you're setting this up for somebody else, you can always go back and delete. Let's say you use your Google Drive and you download the APKs onto the device, but it's your cousin's. So you're going to have to give it to your cousin. You don't want him to have access to your Google Drive. You can go through and remove the Google Drive before you give it to them. But this is a great way to get those APKs or any file onto your device from free cloud storage. Now, you can see
an easy thing, and I still use it sometimes when setting up Fire Sticks. I just hook an OTG cable up and have with a flash drive with all the APKs on it and just install it straight from there. It just depends who I'm setting a stick up for and what apps they want on there.
And what Beach is talking about is these OTG cables. And what it does is on a Fire Stick, you'll have your power goes in here, and then this goes into your Fire Stick. And then you can take here, we can take a little jump drive and plug that right into it. Now your Fire Stick actually has removable storage. That so as Beach is saying, you can put all those APKs on here, plug this in, set it up. Once he's done setting that Fire Stick up, take it out. He keeps this OTG cable because he doesn't need the APK because it's installed on the Fire Stick, and he's the stick is set, ready to go. That's a great way. That I didn't think of. I forgot about that. I've done this before, as well as using this same method if you want to back up things off your Fire Stick onto the flash drive and then put it on a computer or put it on another device. It's a great way of doing it. These cost you what, $6-8, something like that.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Now I will say the own boxes are finicky as heck with OTG cables.
Yeah.
They
Which brand?
are extremely picky. So just sometimes it's just hit or miss. Even with my Fire Sticks, there's some that work fine on a Fire Sticks, but it won't work on my own, and vice versa. But it's just I mean, I very rarely have to use it, but in instances like now when downloader was down and I didn't have anything on the cloud or OneDrive or anything like that, then I just pull out my OTG.
Yeah, and I love it when the guys came on the show. I really appreciate it because again, I completely forgot about a couple of those options as ways of getting these kind of files because when you rely on one thing, you're like, well, I only know how to do this all through downloader. Hey, you put all your eggs in one basket, you can be sure as shit at some point there's going to be a problem. And then you're going to be like, what do? I don't know what to do. So having these extra options, I don't know if either one of you two have used that send anywhere. I did years ago, maybe a couple years ago. I used it. I haven't used it in a long time. I'm not sure if either one of you two used that.
Like it's been years when it first got into it and doing it, and then it just, like I said, it was when I was really setting up boxes is when I really got into the OTG cables and USBs, because what I would do is I would set up Cody on one box and just copy that setup and just transfer that onto a new box for somebody else. That's when I really was using the OTGs instead of sending files, because I was just copying how I set up Cody for everybody.
Yeah, I know that there's been different ways of doing it, and I did use this send anywhere when it first came out. I think I tested this, and if I'm not mistaken, on this one, you install it on, say, your phone or something like that, and then you put the application also on your Android device, and then you have to put in a code to basically say it's so that we can sync it up. If I'm, like I put in a 6-digit or 7-digit code, so you're able to do it, and then you're able to move the files from one device to the other. But I do know that some people find this to be quite helpful. Here's where you can see where they've done the code. Again, it says it expires in 10 minutes. Share the link. So it is a good way of being able to, without any kind of wires, without any extras, you can move these files over to this device. And again, giving you those options to be able to move those files, because so often we need to be able to move some files over. Or I know when people, how many times have you guys seen it where someone says, I created a build on my Shield or my Fire Stick or whatever it is. Most of the time it's a Fire Stick. I've created a build, and how do I get that build onto my other Fire Stick? Because I don't want to have to redo and set the whole thing up.
Yep, that's one of the most common asked questions. Yep. Absolutely.
And you can do it. You can actually create a zip of your build, and then on one of these types of options that we've shown here, pull that zip file onto either onto your PC or a laptop or your phone, and then onto your other device to be able to to basically create a clone of your build, and that's really helpful. I use, and I haven't done a video. I keep wanting to do a video, and I keep putting it off. Is doing a build on using the Simple Wizard, and you know how you in Simple Wizard you can create a backup of your build and create it, and then install Simple Wizard on your second device, and then just drag and drop that zip file and expand it. Because the reason why I do it that way is there's a lot of times you can't always see those hidden files. You know how sometimes you can't see the user data files on some
Right.
Android devices. It'll they're protected, so you
Yeah.
really can't protect. But if you use like the Simple Wizard to create a zip, and then you save it outside of the Cody folder, then it's accessible. You can grab that zip and just save it or move it to another device. So at some point I'm going to make a video just to show, because like C-Man said, so often people say, how do I back up my build and I want to put it on my other device? And it's really not that hard. You know, for me, using Simple Wizard, it's easy. Sometimes you can go with Explore, create a zip of the file. But again, depends on the device. Sometimes you can't see all the files. Sometimes it'll say that, you know, some of the user data files you're not able to see.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how, like, I used to transfer my Cody setup from one box to another. Basically, go in the ES File Explorer and enable Show Hidden Files.
Mm-hmm.
Then just go to Android and go to Cody and just copy those four or five folders that are in the Cody, drag them to the blank on my USB, and just have it Cody 18 whatever backup, and transfer that onto a new Cody install on a box, and it would already be set up with everything that was done.
Yeah, you can also do it with a cloud drive. I mean, you can back up your build to a cloud
True.
drive and then share it with your file explorer.
But
in downloads, and
I would highly suggest, though, if you've ever moved a build over, you want it as a zip. Because if you leave it expanded, so all the files and the folders and stuff, it takes forever. Now, if you create a zip, say the zip is 200 megs, you know, it doesn't take that long to take the 200 megs and download it or upload it to the cloud. If you try to upload or move Cody as a uncompressed file, it takes forever, because I've done that before, and it's just like one file, two files, three, and there's thousands of files in a Cody build. There's thousands in it.
No, it needs to be a zip file.
Yeah. So just
definitely.
Heads up, if you're going to do it, you're going to want to zip it before you move it, because if you try to move it by itself, it will be forever. Hey, Alban sent me a text. He said also, you can also, in with Explore, you can use SMB. So you can actually use the SMB feature to move a file from your computer over to an Android device that's running Explore. So that is another. Yes, it opens up like a file. You can do like an FTP type of thing to move stuff over. So Explore, it has a lot of options. So that is one of my go-to APKs I install on every device I set up. I mean, it's just too many tools in it that when you need it, you need it. So, you know, that's, I mean, hey, we've given people 5 or 6 different options. So if people are struggling with how do I get my stuff on a device, we've given you a number of suggestions here. I was going to see if anybody else, Send Files apps is another good one. Okay. Thank you, Nook.
It brings back memories of the old ADB Fire. Send them files from my desktop to a Fire Stick.
They have that even with that
early days.
That TV that button remapper thing has a feature where you could do the ABD moving files back and forth. It even has, I've seen it in there. I haven't messed with it. Let's see. Steve says send files to TV. All right. Thank you.
Buncher makes a good point. If you move the actual files without a wizard, your binaries will be wrong on
True.
Cody 20. Yeah.
In so yes, you're gonna want to zip that stuff up. I just know I can't remember what I had done, and I had it on a jump drive or something, and I was moving stuff on my shield, and I like I said, I normally would do it as zip, and I didn't do it zip, and I mean to tell you, it took forever for file and then a file and a file. It's like, holy shit, this is, I'm not running my old. Anybody knows my old Depulse build that was humongous. It wasn't even that; it was a small build. Like, holy shit, this is forever. So, yeah. So, yeah, those are some options for people if Downloader isn't available. Take a look at some of these other things, and to be able to get the applications, the APKs on some of the devices you're looking for. Because again, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because sure as shit it's gonna be. Hey, yeah, you can do that. See, let's see. Oh, there.
Okay,
Mint
I got you.
jumped in. Yeah, Mint jumped in. Hey, bud, what's up? I haven't seen Mint in a while. But hey, thanks for people. Got plenty of our old folks. Old folks. A lot of our regulars are on here. So I want to be calling
thank
people.
you, old folks.
Hey, it was your birthday just the other day, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, yours too. So.
And wait, that reminds me. It was somebody's birthday
Fuck
yesterday.
y'all. Yeah, fuck y'all.
Seaman's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Seaman.
Damn. Yeah, shit. There you go.
Thanks,
November
brother.
was a busy month. So let's see. Andrew's got on here. All my builds are using the Simple Wizard. My fork of it. Yep, I use again. Simple Wizard. One of the things I will say, you can get the generic file of Simple Wizard. You don't have to create your own wizard. You can use just the basic to back up your files, your build, and or install or restore your build with no work. I mean, you just download the APK or the add-on and go with that. So that's easy peasy. All right, let's see. We got to jump. So that was all of that talk. Let's cover some of my favorite topic, and which is some of our Cody stuff. Oh, hey, I forgot. Thank you, Alban. Alban just sent me a message and said, "Don't forget Miss Clara. Claire's birthday was Clara, from our old Bob days. She was her birthday was just last week too. So we have plenty people. So, Cody, we've had some things with Cody. I know that I had one question that was asked in the group. Let me pull it up. We had two questions here. One, Ralph asked this question and said that one of his mates was having problems with his streaming. Wouldn't load the live TV, but it brings the Fire Stick to his house and it works straight away. He uses a VPN, still not helping. So if he uses a VPN, the ISPs can't tell and can't block them, this and that. So basically, the issue is the guy was saying that the Fire Stick will not play live TV at his friend's house, but will play it at his house. So what do you guys think on I know that Seaman, I know you chimed in that in the group. You were chiming in with some of the answers on that.
I'm sorry, I lost y'all for a minute.
Oh, I was pulling up that question. I know that
it was the one yesterday you were talking about. I mean, if it works at one house and not the other, whether or not they have two different internet providers, that would be the first thing. That is something. I mean, give you a prime example. When I went up to my brother's in West Virginia on his smart TV, Xfinity, Comcast will not let him access my Plex server.
Yep.
It will not. You have to basically go into the router and change the security settings in there because Xfinity blocked access to the Plex server. So, which is weird. So that's why we had that discussion the other day when we were talking, and I suggested some people try a VPN in Germany.
Yep.
And that seemed to solve their problems they were having.
Yeah.
So it's just play around with different areas. I mean, I read that text. They said, I thought they said they were in the UK and they tried using another VPN that was in the UK. My first thing is, if you're in the UK and you're having issues, don't use a UK VPN.
No,
Try
don't.
another country. I mean,
No.
I'll give you from my personal experience with playing around with AliExpress and Alibaba cheap IPTVs. All right, my go-tos for getting smooth streams are Germany and Switzerland. That's just from my times of playing around
Mhm.
with cheap IPTVs and having buffering issues.
Yeah.
So
See, mine's always Canada, which is
You go. You
Yeah.
wait. You choose Canada as the VPN location.
oh yeah.
See, if I pick Canada, it blocks so many different things that
If
if
I
I
choose
try,
US, it blocks everything.
wow, yeah. But I
Yeah.
guess it depends on your ISP. And as Beach says, you got to kind of play around with that a lot. You got to test what works for you. And when you find out something doesn't work at one person's house, but then it works at another, that's always a big flag saying that's an ISP issue, unless you have the same ISP. Another thing that I tell people, if they say, hey, I'm trying to log into something and it's not working, it's blocked, I tell people, all right, pull up your phone if you can log into that same thing, and do not use your Wi-Fi. Use your cell phone service and try to
Yes.
go to that website through your cell phone service, because there's a chance that even if it's blocked by your ISP, your cable internet provider, it may not be blocked from the cell phone because they're different networks. So you might, if it works on one and not the other, then that tells you, hey, one of them is blocking it. And we've seen it a lot with ISPs. Your internet providers are doing a lot of this security features, this safe browsing, this stuff that's here to help you, to keep you off of bad websites that could infect your devices and cause all kinds of headache for you. So your ISPs are voluntarily blocking these websites from you. And it may be websites you want to go to, and you're like, well, it ain't working. So as Beach said, here is a link here about disabling the advanced security settings in your Comcast Xfinity, because there is a whole list of websites that they have blacklisted. So if this is turned on, you are not going to be able to go to any of those websites. Now, if say you're like, well, that's on my Shield, I can't get to it. Well, you're still using your internet. And if your internet company is blocking that website, I don't care if you're on your phone Wi-Fi, if you're on your computer, or you're on one of your Fire Sticks, you're not going to be able to access that website if your ISP is blocking that URL. So take a look at in turning these settings off. I know here's an article that talks about the Comcast thing. There's one about Sky. Most of the almost all the UK ISPs have some type of shielding, and they will, even if you turn it off, sometimes they'll reset that. So, some people are like, well, I turned that off 6 months ago. They do sometimes push an update and it will re-enable it. I want to say I got here is I had a picture of one of the guys that helped us in the group that showed on the Exfinity app. You have to actually go into the app itself. Let me see if I can share that one. So let's stop sharing this and try to present. That's not the one. There it is. Okay. So allow. And this is the guy took a screenshot, and you can go into your Exfinity app. And this is a lot of these apps, to turn it off, you can go into the router itself or the modem themselves and do it. But most of them will do it through your application. I know our ISP does it also, that you're able to pull it up. And so here, this is the first page. You go down here, and goes to advanced, down to the little shield. Here's your advanced settings, and you can go and turn off that secure browsing or secure. They have different names, but it was some kind of a security setting that's turned on. You'll want to turn that off. And this is happening with a lot of ISPs. AT&T fiber. A lot of my friends that have AT&T fiber have a lot of issues with certain services that will not work by default because of the URL that they're trying to access is blacklisted and is basically turned off. So, and there's Funster.
I
What's
know
up,
that.
bud?
Yeah, there's fun.
Hello.
What's up, my man? Nice to see you,
Hey,
buddy.
man.
Wait, I need to sort some noises out here.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were
Is your
talking about my
dog
noise.
snoring?
His dog's always snoring. So this is, you definitely, folks, you want to definitely take a look at your ISP. I would say probably now, the UK, it's almost all of them. In the US, probably 20-30% are doing it. In Canada, you're getting probably another 20 or 30% of the ISPs are enabling this software on their modem to protect you, to keep you from going to websites you shouldn't be able to have it. Now, if you're one of our people that want to go to those sites, you're going to want to turn that stuff off, and it's not going to, it's just going to allow you to access stuff. So that happens a lot.
See, with AT&T fiber here where I'm at,
Mhm.
I've got AT&T Smart Manager on my phone, and it'll say this URL is blocked, but I can whitelist it
Yes.
and allow it. So, I mean, and I get those all the time.
Yeah.
Believe me, you know the shit I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you go to a scraper site, when you do a scraper, I had my mother-in-law was looking for a show, and she says, I'm looking for the show, and every time it says that there's going to be this number of links, and I click it, then it says it can't play it. And I was like, that don't make sense. So I go over there and I'm watching it, and I'm watching her go through the steps, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's got links, and all of a sudden, I can't do it. I'm like, that's weird. So that was when I found on our ISP that it had a security setting, and I never even thought that ours did. And so I started poking around on the app and found it, and I'm like, holy shit. And then it had all, like you said, it has a list of all the websites it's blocked. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
wait a minute. No, that site's, I want that site. So our app only allowed 50 whitelists. So it only allowed you 50 URLs. Well, I ran out of 50 URLs. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just turn it off because, I couldn't keep recycling. Because I want to say, it's weird how some of those websites get added. I mean, because wasn't a DJ site got flagged as I mean, it's not even a bad site, but it got flagged as a site you couldn't go to. So it's different thing. So what's up with you, Funster?
Oh, everything is pretty quiet here at the moment. I'm not gonna touch Cody for the next month or so. So I did everything works. I made my Christmas build and that touch build, and that's me done for this year.
Yeah, that's
And then
a nice touch build. You got I saw the pictures of the touch build.
Both look great. You did
I
a
actually
great
thought about
job.
checking
Both
that out.
look
It's
good.
because we all know
It's-
if you got a phone, it's difficult to use Cody on a phone.
It's very good on a phone because the I don't know how you call it, the sliders.
Mhm.
When you go through a list, they're very big, and every page has a back button and stuff like that. So it's very easy.
Yeah, because a lot of times on your phone, everything is so small.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong one, and
It's
it doesn't always slide left and right or go up and down. And you're like
Yeah.
trying to do two fingers to make it move, and it doesn't. They don't ever respond well.
that skin is basically made for car entertainment.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw you talking about that. That's
Yeah, it's made for in a car because the clock in the middle of there that actually works, but you can choose different logos from cars.
So
That's
what do
pretty
you,
cool.
so wait a minute. Do you have this installed in your car when you're driving?
No, but
Oh.
the skin is made to install in your car.
Oh, okay. Because it does have a clock in the middle. I saw that, like you said.
Yeah,
the
it's a
clock, and then it
working
had the
clock.
little-
It's actually a working clock. It's not just a PNG.
All right.
It's you can actually, because there's different buttons when I first made it on the laptop, and then I tested it on my Shield. A lot of different options came up.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you that don't show up on Windows, and they showed up on Android. So
I know I'd seen
Like
some pictures. I was gonna mess around with that to try to wanted to see if I could. I need to make a fork of it. You know, it's always
I
fun.
skin.
I'm gonna fork it.
I'm gonna fork your shit, Funster.
Yeah. Doesn't everybody?
give him a reach around.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's
Funster's into the holidays. He's got Halloween builds, Christmas builds.
Yeah, those two. It's basically the same build. Just, it's always just change wallpapers and change one. Not
PNG.
super favorites, but one. Yeah, I changed some PNGs and then but then link like the horror
Mm-hmm.
for the Halloween. You relink it to Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
You're on Eminence too on that, right?
Yeah, no, because the skin I used before doesn't work anymore. It works in the beginning, and then after something, there's one repo, one or two I can pinpoint it that kills the skin shortcuts in the other version I was using. So I went back to the easy Eminence.
Yeah, that's the problem sometimes. If like, especially that skin shortcut script gets updated, can break certain things.
It's
certain
like
skins.
the skin I used it wasn't officially ported to 18 even, so I'm not gonna bother with it anymore. I just changed it to Eminence because I knew I could almost make it look the same. So
yeah,
great job. Looks good.
Yeah, and again, that's Funster. You have that in your repository, or what places? If someone wanted to find your builds.
Yeah, it's in my repo.
Okay, so check that out. And I've seen the pictures. I saw the pictures on Twitter. It was either on Twitter and maybe in the Streaming Matters. I saw some of the screenshots of it, and I was like, "Holy shit, that does look cool." One of the other topics that we were going to bring up when we're talking about the K app is a lot of issues with the IMDb, and we've had this issue for a few weeks now. And we believe that some of the problems are starting to get fixed because what happened was the IMDb was not working. The links were not working correctly in a lot of the Cody add-ons. If I'm right, guys, I mean, those lists weren't loading.
That's
the movie database.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think the internal AP keys were revoked. I think.
Yeah.
So in a lot of those add-ons, there's a API key that basically says for your add-on that says, hey, you can come and pull data from our website. And a lot of those were revoked. That API was revoked, meaning that none of those links would work. So some of the add-ons, a lot of add-ons have been replacing that API key so that they'll work. And I want to say it was a lot of the shadow bases were fixed with some of that. Am I right with that? That was the shadow base. Yep.
I think it was the APIs that nobody changed.
Yeah, shadow base was TMDB though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
APIs.
So those are the TMD. All right. So the TMDB was the issue with some of the shadow forks.
A shadow. Yeah.
Yes.
And those have
And-
been fixed, or
and
some of them have
IMD
been fixed.
Yeah, and IMDb started charging for and made some changes, and also started charging for some lists. So
Yes. That's why those screwed up.
So some add-ons are changing from the IMDb links to lists. I should say IMDb links lists to track lists. And so for some people that say, all right, so what are you talking about, Dabs? So when you go into some add-ons and you go to your popular trending, some of those lists, the westerns, though those are linked to either IMDb or TMDB or track. They're a list somewhere on the web. And what's happened is the add-ons that were using the IMDb links lists, those lists weren't working anymore. So some of the add-ons had to change over to tracked so that you would get that trending popular. I mean, there's a number of different of those lists because those lists were not loading. So this is another reason why I pay for tracked VIP, because track to me is very valuable to me. I use it every day for keeping track of so many different things. So I pay for the VIP because I want to support that service. And because it's one of the services that is valuable to me. And so for people that are in our community, I would suggest people think about supporting that particular service, because if that service goes down, there's going to be a lot of add-ons that are going to be having a lot of problems because so many add-ons pull from that website, and you can get it for free. It's a free service if you want to have it, but I like to pay for the premium because I feel like it's supporting. Because bandwidth isn't free. I mean, people can say, I'm just pulling from this website. Bandwidth for them is not free. So you want to be able to support that company to keep it going so that I can pull my track list, or even other add-ons need it. So, just food for thought for people that are, trying to support.
I don't have the paid version of Tracked, but I do always bypass it from my ad blockers, so that at least they get that ad revenue. They don't bother me those ads for the time I spend on that website. It's not
Well, but you don't. I'm thinking about people that have add-ons. I mean, how many add-ons are linked to those lists? I mean, that's my thought. Is it's not even so much about just the basic end user, but you think of how many add-ons are pulling those lists every day. That popular, the trending, the trending for the year, whatever. All those. Now, some add-ons, I don't want to say trending. Some lists some add-ons will do their list manually, but that's not a lot of add-ons do all that manually. Most of them are pulling from a list on the internet. So hopefully some of those. I just knew that for the last few weeks we've been having issues with some add-ons when people complain about the IMDb and they're like, "Oh, this thing sucks. It don't work." So hopefully a lot of this is getting behind us. But if one add-on is giving you problems, folks, I mean, you've got to be flexible in this hobby. If you're not flexible, you just go pay for cable, because you got to be flexible into. If something's not working, you can pivot and move to something else. One add-on is giving you problems. Don't go to the Reddit or Facebooks and forums and cry and bitch and piss and moan. Maybe ask some questions, and if they're working on fixing that, for the time being, move to something else. I mean, that's the time to. I think too many people are like, oh, this is the only add-on I use. Well, again, goes back to, like I was saying earlier, putting all your eggs in one basket. You're setting yourself up to get your feelings hurt.
Yeah, and they've also got to keep up with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because there's a lot of things changing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't know, I mean, I see the same question asked in every group every day, and I'm like, read up for a post.
Yes.
It's right there.
Yeah. Hey, where can I find the free links?
Yeah.
I don't want RD. I want free links. Where do I? What's
Yeah.
the best add-on that's going to give me all the TV shows I
4K
like?
free links. 4K.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there you
want them
go.
all. Where can I get it? I'm not paying for Real to Brid. I want all my TV shows.
It
I want
used
all.
to be. I used it for years without paying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you probably did. The, and we've talked about that in the show numerous times.
Yeah,
The
but
go ahead.
you didn't watch that much like you do now with RD
Yeah, yeah,
because you spend a whole lot more searching for links.
yeah.
Now you put some add-on on autoplay
Yeah,
and you binge. It's faster than Netflix.
yeah. It's
If you set it up right, it's faster than Netflix.
can be.
And you
And there's-
used to spend 20 minutes between two episodes if you were unlucky.
And there's
Like-
other things you can do with RD than just watch stuff. I
Yeah.
use it for that probably secondary purpose
Hmm.
more than
Yeah.
what
It's
you would
it's
traditionally
not
use it in
it's
coding.
not that much used for. It's more used for the other stuff. We just think it's a lot used for streaming.
Yeah.
In
It's-
our niche, but it existed before Cody Addons used it. It was already there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in with we talk about free links. All right, so there's a couple things with free links. It used to be number one, there were more free hosting sites. So there used to be way more free hosting sites that people could get their free content. Add-ons could pull from that free content all the time. Most of those sites are gone. So we went from a whole bunch of sites to fewer sites. And so as time goes by, those free hosting sites or those low cost hosting sites are getting smaller and smaller. So as the pool of free content gets smaller, you still have all these people wanting off of that little small amount. So it's supply and demand. This doesn't work to if we even have the same amount of people trying to pull those free links, but you have less of them, you're going to have a problem. And it's only a matter of time before even more of those free hosting sites or those low cost hosting sites get taken down or change stuff. We've seen it just this year. We had a couple sites that went down
Yeah.
that people were using and they're gone, done.
Or they need to take files down immediately.
Yeah. And that's
They
the
need
same
to be
thing.
compliant.
Yeah. And that goes back to that DMAC
Yeah.
we talked about from Google. If, like you said, they have to be, if they have a request to take down certain files that somebody else is a rightful owner of, they have to be compliant, because if they're not compliant by removing those files, now they can be prosecuted. So those sites have to say, okay, and they'll just whoosh, they're gone. And how many times you hear people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of links gone in just a swipe. And if someone has an add-on with a bunch of direct links, free links, they're like free links, free link, free link. And then with one keystroke, every one of those sites could be gone, or every one of those links are dead. So, you got to figure out, is it worth you searching around for those free links, or saying, you know what, I'll get a premium service and I'll go that route. To me, my time is more valuable than $3 a month. So I'm willing to pay $3 a month to save some time.
Yeah, and I don't think people understand that what doesn't cost them costs other people.
Yep.
I mean, especially if you do free links.
Yeah. And because they're not truly free. I mean, somebody's having to pay for that hosting.
Someone's hosting them.
And I saw a couple things else too. Remember OpenLoad? Remember OpenLoad's gone. That used to host how many millions of content. I mean, and I know that Roger posted about the ones that use some of the pin codes. There's some add-ons that do that. Now, again, those are using that PIN code, and that's to help to offset those hosting costs. So you're gonna do something. You're either gonna give a lot of time. You're gonna go to a website to get a PIN code. You're gonna have to pay for some type of premium service. So you have to figure out what's worth it. And I don't even answer those questions on when I'm reading through Facebook groups. I don't even answer, because when I read as Funster said, I've been doing this for years and never had to pay for it. Why should I have to pay now? And it's like, times change. And if I'm not going to waste my time telling somebody, because they always want the add-ons. And I'm like, good luck. I mean, yeah, there's a few, but you know what? Put all your eggs in that basket and see what happens.
That's
6 months down the
or
road.
when I first got into it, I used to use Mucky Duck, all his add-ons, because they were all one click, boom. And then when he got out of it, it was a hard time. So that's when I had to break down and got real Grid account after that, when he retired from doing Cody. So that's what forced me to get our back in the day, those one clicks were great.
Yes.
All his were 720, and who cared? They were free.
Yeah.
Hey, look, that's when you used to think Sports Devil was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And you never got 720 out of Sports Devil, but you were, I can watch any damn sports I want.
The thing, when we started watching 720, we came from VHS, so that's why it looks crap now. We're used to good 1080s and 4K. Then when you go 720 for a TV show is perfect for me.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
That's what cracks me up when I see people complaining about, there's no 4K streams in IPTV, and I just want to hit them with a brick.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
You're only gonna. There's only sometimes expectations, and not every show is in 4K. Number one, not everyone. I mean, very few, really, to be honest.
Very few.
And then there was a friend of mine. He was he's new to Cody, and he was messing around. He goes, I was looking at some of those old TV shows. He goes, they're not very good quality. I'm like, well, that's because they weren't filmed in very good quality. I mean, they were probably in 480 way back then, So, and he's like, I never thought about that. I said, we're used to seeing 1080 on a regular now. It's like, you're just used to seeing it. So anytime you get much lower than that, your people go, I mean, go to 480, and that's like, wow, God.
Well, I will say there's a big change with this new OLED I got versus my old Hisense.
You and your Hisense.
Big difference.
The same thing is with the people who say they canceled their telecom bills. They cut the cord, and then they want to give max $50 for a device. It's like,
I know.
you save like $150 a month, and you don't want to spend more than $50 on a device.
Yeah,
it's like,
streaming is device and speed. I mean,
I get that conversation with people when I'm discussing IPTV with them.
Yeah.
What for the year? For the year, I'm like, well, that for the year is half of what you were just paying for a month. So, all of a sudden, what the hell happened?
Yeah. And I think C-Man has a really good point. I think this is a serious point for people to take. Streaming is about your device and what kind of internet speed you got. Or I should say Wi-Fi is included in your Wi-Fi, because if you got shitty Wi-Fi, even if you got the best internet in the world, if you got shitty Wi-Fi, it's going to be shitty. So
exactly.
spend that money. To me, it's like an investment. I invest in a good device. I invest in good internet. And guess what? That does not eliminate all my problems, but it makes my problems very small. I have a very small percentage of problems. So when we talk about people that are like, I just want a $15, $20, $30 device, and I want it to work great. Well, it's only going to work as good as, I mean, you think about what
The
quality went
Wi-Fi
into that
chip is
device.
gonna. The Wi-Fi chip is gone. It's not gonna be the best
Yep.
on
Yep.
those devices. But you don't need. Also, people they want fast internet, but you have to make sure you have stable internet in your home.
Yeah.
Stable.
Yeah.
A stable 100 is better than a bad 300.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
'Cause
I mean,
when the 300 drops, you could get stutter. Yeah, you could get buffering with a 300 that drops from time to time. And a stable 100, you won't get buffer.
It's I was helping a friend. They were testing some cutting the cord, and I was going through their house testing their Wi-Fi signal in different areas of their home. So yeah, when I'm stood next to the Wi-Fi or the modem, and I'm like, "Whoa, yeah, you're getting your maximum of what you're buying through your ISP." And then I go to another place. Oh, we dropped a little bit. And then when I went to the TV, it dropped like to a quarter of what it was at the modem. So again, I was like, your problem at your TV is because of the location of your TV, your Wi-Fi setup. The speed getting to your TV is going to be a quarter of what you have over there. So you need to address that issue, because I don't care. Even like Funster said, that person could have went and kicked up their internet even better, but that's only going to help so much because of the degradation, the interference that was in their home, their walls, whatever, that their Wi-Fi wasn't good. So invest in good quality stuff. Invest in good Wi-Fi, a good device.
I
And
have
go ahead.
I have 6 access points in my home. 6.
I want to buy more. I only got 4, but
I've got every room is hardwired, so and I have 6. It's you don't have to buy the top notch for those 6. Like they only need to work in the room that they're plugged in. So
yeah. Well, Cosmics has also got a good point here. A lot of times people are using their router modem, the
combos.
router modem that the ISP gives them, and it's a 1-unit thing, right?
Total shit.
That router is fair at best most of the time. Those routers are not designed to really give a good connection. So you can get away with using their modem, but that router, which is your Wi-Fi, is very important of what you get now. And you can get your own Wi-Fi set up and use their modem, and then go right into your Wi-Fi and not use their Wi-Fi and get away with some of this stuff. So again, invest in good stuff and you'll find that your problems are much less. Roger also posted here about the new mesh routers. I mean, most of the newer routers are so easy to set up. So if you're, like he said, a non-techie person can set these up. You don't have to call Best Buy in to have them set you up. Usually you set them up on your phone, plug it up, and they'll walk you right through for that non-techie people to set those things up.
A mesh system for a home is a great investment. I mean, I'll just say that. And don't use their equipment.
and also if you can, you have to your access points or with your mesh with your mobile thing, you have to put them at the ceiling, not at the bottom.
Exactly.
If you the more because
The higher
Wi-Fi
they are,
signals
the better.
they tend to spread better downwards than upwards.
Well, but you also have a lot of crap that's usually at your lower level.
Yeah.
Right.
You have
So
more.
at the ceiling, you're going to have more space. Think about all the stuff that's around your living room or your kitchen or your dining room. You got all that stuff. And so if your modem is down low, it only makes sense that it's going to create just barriers, obstacles, all kinds of issues.
Basically, your Wi-Fi signal is bouncing off things.
Mm-hmm.
So the more things in the way, the harder it's going to be to get to your device. I mean, all mine are up high.
Well, hey, I just learned something. I have some of mine that are higher than others. I probably should move all of my access points up higher. I never thought so. I learned something on this show because it makes sense that it does it. That it's important.
When you see really professional thing like a modern hospital, they always have them at the top. Those small wide boxes. Because it's the way the signal works. It spreads better when going down instead of going up.
Well, I have myself a project to do over the next week or two.
Maybe Santa will bring you some stilts so you can knock a little higher.
I definitely need
vertically challenged.
I'm still waiting on my last growth spurt. It hasn't hit yet. It's coming. I know it.
I think
honey, come climb on my shoulders.
And most of those new mesh routers and stuff, they don't look too bad, so you can easily put them on something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean they almost look like a piece of your furniture. They're nice.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a that's a good point. I'm really, I think that's an awesome point about getting that stuff up higher, and taking a look at your setup, because like sometimes Beach's point about people that will nitpick about I don't want to pay for this, I don't want to pay for that, but I'm not going to pay the cable company. Well, take the money you save from 1 month or 2 months, and guess what? It's going to go a long ways.
I've run into it all the time. That's why basically just recently, when they had the Fire Stick Max on sale, I bought about 4 of those for my friends. As crap starts to die, so I know it's there, I can replace it, because it's about what you're going to do. If all you just want to do is like stream stuff, strictly stream, you can get away with an own box and a Fire Stick. You want to get in some gaming, then you need to start looking at a Cube, the Fire Cube, or obviously a Shield. So it's about what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
All you want to do is stream. You can get by with some of the cheaper prices.
I will say, and I set up. A friend of mine had me set up a Max, and I haven't set one of those up in, I don't know, a year and a half. And I was really surprised, the new Maxes, how snappy they were. I mean, that thing was peppy. I was like, wow. I was like, this is a good device. And again, he bought it on sale, got himself a good deal on it. And again, he's just looking to stream. And I'm like, this is going to be all, you'll be fine. Because he was like, oh, you got a Shield. I'm like, but what I'm doing is not what you're going to, and I'm like, I show him I've got all my gaming set up and all. I'm like, but I do that on this. So yes, I want to have that for those reasons. I said, if you want to get to that point, well then fine. But I said, but try this first, see if this is what you need and if it's going to fit your needs. The on-box, this on-box that I have, I've messed around with them, and for its cost, is it the best device? No, but for the cost, $20, if for people that are just streaming and just gonna stream their shows, it works great. It's $20. So what are you out? You're not out anything really on that cost. So I tell people, I'm like, you can invest what you want, depending on what you're wanting, what you're needing to do, but sometimes starting smaller, to find out if, like, especially early cord cutters, because they don't know. They're like, well, I'm cutting the cord. I went to. I'm like, well, then start small. See if this is even for you, because it isn't for everybody. You may find that it's too much of a pain in the ass, and then you want to go and pay the cable company again. Fine, fair enough, but don't go and spend $200 to find out that you want to go just pay Comcast, because it's too much hassle to find what you want.
Yeah, but then they start reading up, and then they load like the small device up with 15 different apps.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And then
they've got APKs and shit and nothing.
Yeah. it's
Fun,
then
Funster,
they bone.
you're a
What?
B-Link guy too, aren't you?
Yeah, I used to. I still have it, but I seldom use it because I don't watch TV in that room anymore. So
Oh,
I
okay.
have a Shield and a B-Link GT King. It's like when you have a full Android box, not an Android TV, but a full Android box, you don't have to worry about downloader and stuff, and
Nope.
Right.
it's like your phone. You can do anything with it. And if you want to buy it and you want to stay, buy something that doesn't get updates.
That's what mine has. Mine, I'm on Android 9, and I love it.
Yeah, yeah. It's I I still have a tablet. I do some work on, like make Cody Fox. That's Android 8.1, and I love it. I can reach every folder
Yeah, absolutely.
without hassle.
Well, looks like Dad's got tired of us and we kicked him off. So welcome to the beach, episode 1, Streaming Matters. So here we go.
I think Deb
Let's
started
talk
moving
about
his
porn.
access point.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about porn add-ons in the K app. Somebody get
Oh.
Mark.
I think Dabs is moving his
Yeah, that's
access
it.
point right now.
He's moving one of his freaking mesh units and he lost his internet. So yeah.
But no, I mean, like Funster said, if you can find
He
a
just-
good,
He just sent me a message that hang tight, my modem just reset.
no,
So see,
but like Funster
maybe-
said, if you can find a good device that's Android 8 or 9 is full Android, you don't have to fuck around with everything.
No
I mean,
worries.
it's just, nah.
Updates only break things. Like,
Dabs
And-
just said, "I'm coming back."
yeah. So I mean, it's that's when I started out, I think it was the M8 boxes is when I first got into it, and then I graduated to B-Link, and then eventually I went with a Shield because I started playing some games and stuff on it. Just now I'm Shield, Fire Cubes, and whatever.
I'm thinking if I ever buy a new box, I think I will go for a NUC or something like that.
A what, Buns?
A NUC.
A NUC,
Oh,
an
okay.
Android, a small form factor PC,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm curious because I know one of the topics he has listed he wants to talk about is basically they're starting to repurpose Fire Cubes as small PCs.
As small PCs,
Yeah,
like something like a Samsung DeX kind
exactly.
of thing, maybe. Yeah.
I saw the article because I know when he on his list of topics, I was trying to read up in case Alvin wouldn't be on here. So at least I had an idea what he was talking about. But I saw that they were starting, and I think recording an article they're going to be releasing sometime here after the first of the year. And I'm curious to see how what all is involved with that is running because I think that'd be kind of interesting.
Dubs, where are you?
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading the article, Roger, and I just found it interesting. Since Todd's on here, let me tell you the stupid thing I did of the week. I got one of those new Fire Tablet 10s, and I got a 1 terabyte micro SD card to cram in it. So I spent 2.5 days loading like 500 movies, 100 TV shows, and 1,600 songs, so I could put it in my Cody on there. Load it up, go ahead, went to stick the SD card in, and it said, we have to reformat your card. I forgot Amazon requires FAT32. So that 2.5 days of setting that micro SD card up was a freaking waste. I was so pissed.
Hey, look what happens. We were talking shit about all the ISPs. they just like my whole modem just rebooted. It like went off, and then the downside about since I'm running my modem and then my Wi-Fi separate, you got to wait for the modem to finally boot all the way up, and then I've got like, oh, now my mesh system is like, come on. So yeah, I'm back. But yeah, that's what happens. Even when you have the best equipment, shit. If the internet the whole internet kicks out, because it was like my whole modem, like every light went out in the modem. So
they're gonna start next year. They're gonna start working on my street, like totally rebuild it. I'm hoping I'm not going to have a lot of days without internet and electricity, and because when they start breaking things,
yeah,
they cut the cord.
Yeah, they cut the cord for you. It's like this. But I was talking to C-Man before the show, and this is the on box here, and I went into Beach told me about this, so I want to say it's under system, and I think it was under developer options, and if you want to make your on box a little bit quicker, it's not going to make it day and night. It was these three settings: the window animation scale. I went from it was at 1.1x. I went to half a x.
Yeah, it normally is like 1.5, and you crank it down to 5.5.
Yeah, 0.5.
I turn it off. I just turn it off.
I had it off, but to me it was almost a little too irky jerky.
Yeah, then it looks like it's stuttering, but it isn't.
It's just quick, but to me, I was trying. I was like, I don't know. It was kind of a weird. So I went to 0.5, but this is where you can change these settings to make your on box a little peppier. Again, for a $20 box, it's a good deal. I wanted to give, because I did a shitty job the last Streaming Matters show on the TV quick actions thing. So because to be honest, I had forgot what I was doing, and I made some more videos on this for the YouTube show, or for my YouTube channel. You can actually go and watch those to show you how to add some buttons, and it does make it quite easy to set up. So check out some of those videos I did. I think they're on. I put them on YouTube. I'm pretty sure. So one click of Disney. Oh, it wasn't Disney. I'm trying to remember what I did on this one. It was Paramount? Yeah. So Paramount, I added these buttons to where I could have some boxes down here, vertical. So one click will give me that to come up. Now with the paid version, you also can have it as a long hold or a double click, so it can give you 3 options for it. But for the free version, I want to say just the free version, you can set it up as a one click. And then I think the Netflix button, I think I changed that. Maybe I didn't. Yeah. Let me try this again. So take a look at some of the videos I did. I post them on Facebook, on YouTube. If you're looking to remap some of your buttons, it's easy to do and definitely worth it. I think I even all right, so at home or on my other device at home, YouTube, I actually remapped that to SmartTube. So whenever I hit the YouTube button, it goes to SmartTube. I don't have to watch, all those ads. So definitely take a look at some of that. That's just a little thing to make it a little bit easier for you guys to use. All right, so let's go take a look at some of our other. I forgot what some of our other subjects. Let's see here.
The Beach was going to start a poll about porn.
Oh, was he? Well, that leads right into some of the Plex that we were going to talk about. I don't know if you guys read the article about Plex. Just last week, Alban and I were talking about the Discovery, where you can see what your friends are watching, right? And it can let you know as suggestions. So if I see Alban's watching certain content, and it was just a great way of having that community of, hey, he's watching this show. Oh, I want to check out that show. You could put reviews of a show and stuff like that. Well, there is an unexpected thing that came up is people's porn viewing habits are being shared with their friends. So if people have been watching adult content, it is possible for all of your friends to, if you've been watching it on Plex, it is possible for your friends to see that you were watching, Debbie Does Dallas, that you were watching some of it. So keep in mind, go ahead.
It's stupid that you have to opt out for that. Eh?
Yes.
It should be the other way around.
Yeah. And see, I opted in. It used to be an opt-in when they very first came out with Discovery.
Okay.
And then they changed it when they did the last version. Everybody was, because they thought, oh, we've beta tested. This is such a great idea. We'll let everybody do it, which didn't affect me because I was already opted in. But now everybody's opted in. And again, if you're watching regular content, it may not be a problem. But if you are watching some adult programming,
and you have porn and porn. You have porn and then you have porn. So
it's again for our folks that if you have Plex, just be careful of if you're watching a lot of adult content on your Plex, you may want to turn off that sharing with your friends. Because maybe we don't want to know about your habits or what you like, because that was one of the articles says people and their fetishes, you would know what their fetish was, but I never thought about that as a problem. But people, because it comes in your email, it'll come in your email that I know what Albin's watching or what different of my friends, it'll say, hey, they've been watching these shows, which sometimes I'll browse through it, but I never noticed any of them watching, which I'm not part of Grind. I don't get Grindhouse. He doesn't send me his list. So it's probably a good thing I don't see his list, because I probably,
well, put it this way, it's just as bad if you get knocks, because if you say women don't watch porn, no, that's not true. Look at the crap Nuck watches.
A lot of women watch. And Blue and I had that discussion one time.
And the main problem is also going to be most of the people share it with family.
Yes. Yeah. So say if you got grandma on your Plex and you guys are sharing it, and
you watch grandma porn.
Yeah.
I don't think
Mark
is sharing shit with family.
No wonder he wants to come over to eat some of my biscuits. He's been looking at my other biscuits. So if you have Plex, and if you have Plex Discover turned on, just a word of advice: be careful. You may be you're sharing all of your habits. So if you have porn habits, you just keep it in mind. So I thought that was a funny article, and it's too bad Albin's not here to chime in on that, because he would, he's Mr. Plex. So
I opted out of that crap when he sent me the thing about sharing. I'm like, no, screw you. It's bad enough. That's why I don't use Track. I don't want those bastards knowing what I'm watching, and I don't want my, screw you. We talk. We get together once a week and talk about what we're watching. Screw it, nosy bastards.
They're trying to sell me something. And this is a cool. Now I would say this is probably one of the cooler apps or software equipment that some of us may find useful. It's called the Jubilee TV. It actually allows you to attach through an HDMI different devices into this one device that then plugs into the TV. And it also comes with a camera. And what you're able to do, because how many of us have had some elderly family members that mess up their TV and you got to go over there and fix it, or they can't find something on the TV, so you got to go walk them through it on the telephone. This is a service that will actually gives them a camera. They can see you on the TV. So if you're using a laptop or you're using a phone, they can see you. So you can do a video chat. They're looking at their TV, so they don't need a computer, know how to use a computer. The screen pops up on that for on their TV pops up your camera, and then you can actually, from what I read, you can actually make adjustments to their TV as well as some of the devices. So if they had a Fire Stick plugged in, you could have access to make adjustments to their Fire
Oh, we're
Stick
gonna hack that
for them. So this is, I think this is a cool idea for some folks that are dealing with elderly family members instead of going to their house. Let me see here. There had some cool pictures. Oh, here's some down here. There is a membership to it. Does cost you $99 for the device, I believe, and then $30 a month. So it's not free. It's going to cost you some. But again, let's say you have a family member that lives on the other side of the country, that you can't access, go over to their house to fix the TV or fix whatever. You can actually do it remotely. And this kind of goes like remote desktop kind of idea for us, some of us computer folks that have used it. You're able to do it. Here's a photo here. You can see where the kid is doing a violin lesson, and grandpa's watching it on his TV through the camera and is able to, so it makes it just so much easier. I think this is a cool idea. I mean, it's not for everybody. Here, look at here, a reminder, take your medication. As more of our baby boomers are getting to that age, this is going to be big business one day. This is going to take off like a rocket.
Yeah, I read a lot about that. That's really cool.
I'd have to see it work before I would take the leap and get it. Just know, I mean, my mom's past the point of using it now, but I know when I tried to introduce any tech to her, oh my God, I don't take enough muscle relaxers that are strong enough to chill me out.
I want to know how secure it is.
Yeah, I don't know with that. I mean, you're having to, I'm sure. So this is a device. So you're having to log into the device itself. So you would have to set up an account, I would assume. And probably, so if I was, let's say that I am the person that sets up the device, I buy it for my mom or my dad. I would set it up. I would have a login, kind of like your remote desktop. And I would log into that account. Now, there is always that risk. Yeah, go ahead.
And then you save it in your LastPass account.
Or just set the camera up, and next thing you know, make grandma her OnlyFans page, and let all the freaks come out and make some money off of her. That'll pay for that $30 a month membership.
Oh, listen, you guys are terrible, but yeah. So
we're not terrible. It's happening.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah, I look at this. Like here's so this would be on my phone. Here I can change the channels for him, adjust it. I can change. All right. So my dad we were talking about it, and he was looking at some different things when I was down there visiting him. Now he doesn't live around here, so I was visiting him, and he's not very techie. And then him switching, I said something about you just got to change the source, change the HDMI, and he looked at me like I was talking a different language. I said, right here, and I'm showing him on the remote. Right here, it changes your HDMI. He goes, what's that mean? I said, your source changes your source. He had no idea what I was talking about. He goes, that's too. That's too many buttons. I'm not doing that. And again, so it is kind of a neat idea to be able to do that kind of stuff. Let's see. Here's the remote for the thing, because I know it says that you can access the Jubilee TV so it had a contacts list. I saw that. So I guess you could contact, so if you had your kid, you could contact them. So, but hey, if you're looking for something for one of your older family members, this might be something for you to check out, that if you're getting tired of running over to your mom's house to have to fix the damn TV every time.
Sounds like the perfect present for you to get Charles.
Oh,
he needs his tech support. He doesn't on the screen. There you go.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh yeah.
I spent half last night trying to get my dad logged into Amazon on his TV to watch Thursday night football.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
No.
jeez.
Yeah, and again, this would alleviate that. You'd be able to log in and you just do it yourself and say, "There you go, Dad, it's ready to go." And the digital picture frame is cool, so you can, some TVs offer that, by itself. So I don't know. Just this is new it's a new idea. When when Alban sent me this, I'm like, holy shit, this is a cool idea. I can see people using this. Again, I think Funster's right. How secure? You'd want it to make sure to be secure. Maybe put a little flap over the camera so grandma the camera's not always on it. And hopefully grandma would get an alert, if you're accessing it, so let's see here. Let's go over here to the next one, which was Amazon is putting a computer on an Amazon Cube. And this is running, I believe, what was it, at the Amazon Workspaces. And again, this is a prototype or a test. They're doing this, but it is possible to run a cube and make it into a computer. Again, you're using cloud-based, so all your storage and all of your computing is not technically on the Fire Cube. It's actually accessing a cloud-based. So you're accessing a cloud computer, like what are they? Shadow PC kind of idea. But it is possible. They've been testing this in Amazon Workspaces. We've been trying this on small, little, cheap computers to be able to make computers easy to access. The downside of this is that there is a monthly charge, and you have to pay by the gig or by the amount of time you use it. So if you're on it all the time, it could cost you a shit ton of money. I'm trying to see I looked at the pricing. Let me see where that pricing can choose how you pay. Here we go. Here was the pricing. Scroll back down. So depending on, again, the computer, like, is it a one computer, how much memory it has, you're going to pay a monthly fee, $23. Then you're going to pay 19 cents per hour plus $7.25 a month. So
screw that.
User volume 10 gigs. Again, it's cloud. These are cloud computing, and Amazon is working towards this. It's expensive now, but most likely will be cheaper down the road as it becomes more mainstream. But all the computing is done on a cloud. It's done on another computer somewhere else. But the Fire Cube is doing. You can run this OS on a Fire Cube. So I thought that was kind of a neat idea that to showing, using your cube and being able to access a computer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's an interesting idea, but I mean, that's awfully expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You can get you can just get a cheap works for what it seems they're going to be charging. You can get it cheap.
Yeah, it's not price effective, or it's not price conscious right now. But what they said, well, the benefit is say you're using it here and then you go somewhere else, you're able to log into your account and it has all of your stuff stored and you can log into it right there. So I'm like, all right, well, then you got to use another device to log in. I mean, I see what they're trying to do. Everything set on the cloud. And this is all right. So then this is where Alban has a fit. He's like, I don't want all that shit on the cloud. I want that stuff, where I can access it, not be held ransom and not be held hostage if you don't pay the bill.
Do they have a cloud gaming thing already? Oh, they have it already.
Yeah, remember they had that?
That's basically now the same thing, but with apps.
Yep.
More like
yeah, you're exactly right. Oh shoot, the name I had it in my head. I had the name of that app because it's basically you buy the controller and it can run a Fire Stick.
Oh, yeah.
You can run it all off a Fire Stick, but all the stuff is done online. All of it's done on the cloud. So that's how that's done. So yeah, it's an interesting idea. We talked about Amazon. Amazon's internet service is getting closer to being a reality for some folks. So if you guys know about the Elon Musk Starlink, this is the same thing, but Amazon is going to offer their own version of basically satellite internet. So they launched some satellites. They did some testing. It does work. And so starting in 2024, they will start moving forward with production of the satellites as well as launching the satellites. And they say by 2025, they will go public. There will be some beta prior, but public should be in 2025, where you'll be able to get the internet service through Amazon. And this is actually a pretty good speed. It was 400 megs. So you can get 400 meg down for your standard. They do offer a pro and stuff like that. And they're talking being sub $100 for a month. So it'd actually be even cheaper than what a Starlink is, because Starlink is a little over $100 for 100 meg. So this is a better. You'll get more speed for a cheaper price. That's what they're aiming for right now, but that's still a year and a half off before you're going to even have an opportunity of it. They will offer a standard, pro, which would be for businesses, as well as a portable version. So that's the 3 tiers they're talking about doing it. No lock on the pricing per se, but they said they want it to be. It said in one of the article down here, under $1,000 a year is what they're aiming for. And this could be good for the people in these rural areas, because I think there's not a lot of people realize how bad internet is for some folks. So Beach, we've been friends with Eddie for what, a couple years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just was able to get
100.
good internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was no options other than like what it was like 15 meg or 15. He was like 15 meg down or something. It was like his internet was terrible prior.
Yeah, it used to be. He was lucky to get 15, but it was like anywhere from 3 to 7. But
yeah.
I mean, now we have that. But now Eddie's got 100. But we have Leon who has the issues, and Leon comes in. He has his headset, so we'll be in there watching a fight or watching a movie, and he'll bounce in or out 3 or 4 times because he's losing the internet. So that's our next one.
Yeah.
We have to get hooked up.
But yeah, people got to understand that there's a lot of people, not even, I mean, in a lot of places that have really, really bad internet. Even nowadays in modern countries, you'd be thinking, oh yeah, they got good internet. Not everybody. So this is filling those gaps in those voids for people to have some options for a good internet. I don't know what
a great option, like you said, for rural areas, definitely.
This ties right into this article about from the FCC now can punish telecom providers for charging customers more for less. So what they've said in the U.S., there is a discrepancy between what neighborhoods that you live in and how much you pay for your internet and what internet is offered to you. So they're saying in some neighborhoods, more affluent neighborhoods, they have more options and they have it at a lower cost than people in poorer neighborhoods who have fewer options and pay more for slower internet. So the FCC is basically saying, hey, you can't charge somebody lower speeds for more than what you're charging somebody the higher speeds for a less amount. So they're trying to even the playing field, because I've seen it with you look at like Alban when he talks about some of his internet options, with all the options he has. And we talked to someone like Eddie who had no options. It's like,
just where I'm at, I have 2 options. A buddy of mine who lives 5 miles away only has one option,
Mm-hmm.
for internet, and
Yeah.
that's he's if he wants the internet, he's got a stranglehold.
Yeah.
We have like 5 or 6 options here, but they're basically only 2
Mm-hmm.
because the other rent
Yeah.
on
They
the
rent the
2 that have
service.
the
Yeah.
from the others.
Well, they do that here. I mean, a lot of them use
That-
Bell,
but-
but
yeah, but when you use like uh, one that hires,
mm-hmm.
those get throttled first
Mm-hmm.
on high
On high demand
the-
times.
on high demand. Those rentals they get throttled first.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
the company that's the supplier is going to be like, hey, they're getting hit before me.
Yeah.
And I know, like for you, man, we talked about you've got really good internet and you got more options too. I mean, but you're not out in the boonies either.
No, I'm not. And yeah, it is nice, but like you said, I mean, it's great to have options
Yep.
in different areas. I mean, but
So, but I think the FCC was looking at it in this article. And again, if you guys want to read any of the articles, I posted the links down below. Feel free to read the whole article. But they were basically saying, depending on income, race, and religion, where seems to be where the discrepancy happens. So, the FCC says, yeah, you can't be discriminating against certain people just because for whatever, because their income levels are different. So, and we'll be this is what the hell? Yeah, I'm gonna continue without supporting you. That's what happens. New York Post. I hate these guys. So I was a butcher for a long time, and this has to be probably the best article and the most happy that I have been. Eating red meat and dairy could help fight cancer. Now, what haven't we been hearing like all of my adult life that you need to cut back on how much red meat you eat because it wasn't good for you, it would give you cancer. Have you guys heard that
It,
same thing?
I
it,
have.
it doesn't matter. This study has come out, and then next week there'll be another study. Eating red meat and drinking dairy is going to take 20 years off your life. So every week it's something else.
Yeah.
Just say moderation is the thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
When you live too long, you have to change your diapers for too long.
And I can't afford
put it
diapers.
this way: living long ain't the best thing in the world. It's how you're living.
Yeah.
And trust me, and this is coming from somebody who had to spend time living in a nursing home. There is no place I hope to ever have to go back to again. I'd rather drop dead than have to go back. So it's about quality of life, not quantity of life.
Yeah, good point. When I read this article, you know what I thought? And I looked, and I wish I could have found that it said that this study was sponsored by the Beef Ranchers Association, because I'm like, who did this study? It's got to be someone that was biased, But again, it goes back to moderation, and it's saying that the T cells that are in some of the TVA that is in beef, in the dairy or in meat, can help fight some of the cancer tumors, but moderation. You can't live on cheeseburgers and mac and cheese and expect to live 1,000 years old. Your body's just going to have issues. So being smart about what you eat and how much you eat of all of them is probably the biggest help of all. What about you guys over in Europe? You guys eat a lot of beef?
Yeah, sure. We all beef with fries.
Beef with fries. Give me that. Well, here I just get poutine. I hear about they love poutine up here. So, but yeah, so we can everybody go get you some. It's gonna be. I thought, hey, we'll go ahead and do the spin the wheel for for next Friday's show. Does that sound good, guys?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
All
sure.
right. So we're gonna go ahead and spin the wheel for player pass for next week. So this is our options. We've got 5 options here, and I hope this is big enough because Eddie's old and blind, so I got to try to make it
6
big
options.
enough. I got it. Is the wheel big? All right, the wheel big enough that he can read that. Remember, he says, "Can you make it bigger? I can't read those words." So we got 6 movies on here, and we're gonna spin the wheel, and then this is what we're forced to be able to watch. And I hope. Oh, well, yeah. We got some options in here to argue about. Okay, so here we go. Let's click this bug. And the wheel spinning around. Up, Roger's gonna get his feelings hurt. Bad Trip. All right, who chose? I don't even know this movie. I don't even know this one.
Guilty as charged.
Bad Trip. Okay, so next week, the Wheel of Crap has chosen Bad Trip to be our movie. Yeah. All right. So we'll go with that. So you guys for the show, how about I pull that up? Should I even do it?
I give you a story why I put it on the wheel. Because we did a movie night in big screen one night, and they were just like, let's watch something funny. And that's not the right one.
I was gonna say this looks Indian.
Yeah, that's not the right one. So Nucky just Googled like funniest movies, and this came up, and that's it.
Okay.
So we watched it and we laughed our asses off.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, this is what we got to watch next week. Okay.
Well, what the hell is it?
Bad Trip. What's that? Little Rel Holly. Howard.
It's kind of made on the guys of like the Bad Grandpa, hidden camera stuff type movie, but it has a plot and a storyline to the movie. We laughed our butts off.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's what we got to watch.
I'll be curious to see if anybody else thought it was funny.
All right. Well, I'll have to watch. I'm gonna watch that this weekend. So yeah, that's our show for the week. Let me stop that. So that's what we got to watch next week. All right. So let's see. Do we have any other questions because I didn't have this show open. Because I had the other thing open. Wasn't sure if there was any other. There was any questions I missed before we.
You guys ought to watch Old Dads. That's a funny movie.
That was on the list because of me. I actually have that. That's on the list. I
loved it.
It is not politically correct. Anybody that is over the age, anybody over the age of 35 or 40 is going to love it. You are going to love it because what's acceptable now compared to what was acceptable then, it's and all right. So along the same lines, what was that killing? There's another one where they go back. The girl goes back in time. I brought it up a couple times. Shoot, I can't remember because she goes back to when her mom's in high school.
Oh,
it's the same thing.
I've seen that.
Shoot, ain't it killing?
The Killing Marsh or something.
Killer. Because she goes back to the high school time. Maybe it's one of the people over here in the side chat. Remember, I actually had told us to watch it. Another movie that what was acceptable in the 80s is not what's acceptable now, and that's the same thing with Old Dads. It's what's acceptable, what we grew up in, and it's like a lot of us have such thicker skin than a lot of people nowadays. It's like I don't even worry about that shit, and just yeah. So yeah, that's something to check out. Bill Burr. Yeah, that's in.
Oh my god, yeah, he was
Old Dads.
hysterical.
Yeah, I laughed out loud numerous times at Old Dads.
Same. Same
I
here.
laughed out loud.
Yeah, you had Old Dads on the wheel the other week.
Yeah.
But then you changed it to the creator.
Oh, that's right. Did I?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
maybe
Roger
had Old Dads.
Roger added
Oh,
Old
you're
Dads
right.
for this week.
You're right. You're right. All right. So yeah, you're right. Because I did creators because, yeah, I need somebody to help me with that show. Yeah, I need somebody to help explain that show, that movie. Or it just was. I don't know.
It was all over the place.
Yeah. I at the end, it's like I really wanted to like it. I really, really did. But there was so many places I'm like, huh? What?
I know.
And Blue was the same thing. We're both sci-fi people. And she was like, huh? I was like, so then I started making fun of it, which I can't help it when it's something stupid. I just make fun of it. Yeah, it looks so good. And there was so much. I felt like it had potential, but I'll have to watch it a second time to figure out, was it the script that was so bad or the acting, because it's Denzel's son's in it. Wasn't he in that one? I think that was Denzel's son.
I think so. Yeah.
And it was just like, I couldn't figure out if his acting was so bad or the script was so bad. So
Well, his acting wasn't great. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I think it's probably a good conversational piece. I think that's why I added it as on the wheel, because I'm thinking I'd love for us to talk about that, because some people are going to love it. Some people are just going to absolutely love that movie, and I want to hear them say why. Not to knock them, but I want to know, what was it that you really loved about it? What am I missing? So, all right.
If you're
so
into easy watch, Quiz Lady was funny, and so was Joyride. Both funny movies.
Joyride, wasn't it Roger that kept talking about Joyride?
Yeah, I believe so.
It was hysterical.
He said, he's said more times than once, you need to watch Joyride. It is funny, and I was like,
it is funny, and so is Quiz Lady.
Okay,
that one just came out not too long ago.
Yeah, that was this week that it came out.
Yeah, it's funny.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to.
That's got Will Ferrell in it.
Okay, well, I'll check it out. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and, because we're at 2 hours. Roger's struggling with talking. My man's he's like,
a little too on the green stuff.
Yeah, something. That reminds me. I think tonight maybe I'll do that tonight. It's Friday night. Maybe eat dinner and sit and then turn on Joyride, catch a buzz. So maybe that'll be some fun. So, Funster, anything you want to mention before we head out of here, bud?
Yeah, don't DM me.
Yeah.
Hey, will you make me a fork? Huh?
Yeah.
Will you make me a fork? I need you to make me a fork and a build. Can you do that for me? And I'll tell you all the stuff I want on it.
Yeah. I need a spinner.
No, gonna make it work.
You need a gift spinner. I saw that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh Jesus.
He was banned there. I put him back in the group because he kept messaging me.
You let everyone else deal with him.
Yeah. And I don't block people.
Yeah.
Because I like to play with them sometimes.
I do.
Oh, I know. See, man, you're quick to throw the ban on people. You're like, I ain't got time. Ban.
Nope.
I can just ignore people. I can.
Yeah, I can ignore it pretty too.
I don't even see it.
And sometimes
see, my OCD
when they don't annoy me. Yes,
but I have all these messages in my inbox, and I'm like, all right, no, I'll just delete it.
The worst part is if you actually click that they know that you read it, and then you don't answer.
Yeah,
I know.
They see the second check. They're like, "Fuck, he read it. He didn't even answer my question." Oh, sorry, got busy.
No, I got a lot of friends, and
Yeah.
and they're. But I'm like
Dude.
Funster. I don't want to get DMs all the time either.
It's yeah. If you're gonna DM, usually you should people should request that you DM. You know what I mean? They should say, hey, is it okay if I DM
No,
you?
but you wake up to a DM, it's like not working.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be over to your house in a minute. Let me check it out. I'll see what's
Yeah.
not working.
I reply, and sometimes same here.
All right, C-Man, anything you want to holler out at us or mention before we head out of here?
No, all good, guys. Thanks for coming, and thanks for everyone on the panel. Appreciate you.
Okay, Beach.
My suggestion is you and the missus have dinner tonight and partake in your little after dinner, whatever, whether you smoke or vape or chew or whatever, then put on Bad Trip. That is
Okay.
my suggestion.
Okay.
Get you a nice little glow about you.
Okay.
Put on Bad Trip, and then in the side, knock in Quick and Roger if you guys want to play Trivia Crack after this and take on the third ranked player in Trivia Crack. I'm available.
Yeah, no, he's not spouting, but he's available. So yeah, we got lots of that going on. I will see. Oh, I did want to mention because Auburn will get pissed off at me because I'm not mentioning the sports for the week. So Bare Knuckles is tomorrow night. So we got Bare Knuckles 56 or something is on tomorrow night, as well as UFC. I think it's on ESPN at 8:00. So we have ESPN. You've got NFL is going to be, of course, this weekend. If you're a college football person, we've got this is the in-state rivalry week. So you got a lot of
Washington.
the
Oregon
Washington
tonight at 8.
That's right.
And then tomorrow you have Iowa, Michigan. Then you have Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah, your conference championship games, kind of thing.
Yep.
Yep. So
big
yeah, those will be good. Those will be good to watch. So check those out. I guess that's about it. Don't see anything else. So we got that going on. Thanks for you guys. I want to say a major thank you to everyone that jumped on the panel. C-Man, Funster, DeBeach, for you guys hanging out with me and not making me all by myself. And thoughts and prayers definitely go out to Auburn, who is not feeling up to par today. So you definitely missed, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you on next Friday, where we have to watch Bad Trip. So thanks for everyone watching, and streaming matters to us because streaming matters to you. We'll see you guys